Hey Irvington, welcome to Season 3, Episode 1 of the Voicebox, the official podcast of the IHS Voice. My name's Jay, and I'll be managing the podcast for this year. To start off the new year, we're going to be having a discussion about how well Irvington prepares students for their life after graduation. Often, high school students may graduate as 18-year-olds, but are still yet to learn more in life later on. So here's one of our staff writers, Nichelle, interviewing an Irvington graduate on how prepared she feels after high school. Stay tuned till the end and hope you enjoy this first podcast episode of the year.
Hello, my name is Nichelle Wong, and I'm a staff writer for the Irvington Voice.
Hi, my name is Rishi Gupta. I graduated from Irvington this year, and I'm currently an incoming freshman at Caltech.
Today, we're going to be talking about whether or not Irvington prepares students for real life and college. So, Rishi, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and some of your interests?
Yeah, sure. So, at Irvington, I was mainly involved in debate, and I also was involved in the computer science and Girls Who Code clubs. So my main interests were in those two things, debate and computer science. And in college, I intend on majoring in computer science.
Oh, wow, that's very cool because this is a STEM-focused area. And of course, Cal State ties really well into that because it is a science and engineering college. So right now, your planned career path is into computer science. And aside from Irvington debate and comp sci, did you do any other organizations outside? Or did you work on any coding projects?
So I didn't do anything with any organizations outside, but I did a lot of things on my own. So I did competitive programming. I did my own organization where I taught students computer science and math and other STEM subjects. And I did some research outside as well. And I think that's basically the main things I did. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Teaching sounds really cool because I know that teaching is a good way to learn things.
Yeah.
So how do you feel that your teaching experience helped you learn more about coding?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think teaching helped a lot. I think that to prepare for teaching classes in coding, I obviously had to understand the material super well. So before, if I didn't have a really good understanding about an algorithm, I kind of had to relearn it and really understand it super well. Because obviously, when you're teaching, if someone has questions, they can have questions about anything. So you need to be prepared for that. So I definitely think I learned a lot more about coding and just algorithms and data structures when I was teaching these classes about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense because you can definitely learn a lot more when you're doing research for outside subjects. And I know you said that you're in Irvington's computer science club.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you're an officer for it.
Yeah, I was a competition director.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So, how did you get to be an officer? How many years were you in the club? All 4 years?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't here at Irvington for freshman year. So I joined sophomore year and I applied and I was an event planner for sophomore year. And then I became a competition director for junior and senior year.
Oh, that's really cool. Do you feel like the club helped you open up a lot of opportunities to explore computer science further?
I definitely think Computer Science Club is a great club for people who are interested in computer science. I think they do offer a lot of different opportunities in CS. So I was mainly involved in teaching classes or just introducing members to competitive programming, going over contest problems after programming contests. So if anyone's interested in just learning how to code and computer science and getting involved in things like competitive programming, there's classes Computer Science Club offers that you guys can take, and it's a pretty good opportunity. So I'd recommend that.
Okay, that's good to know. So in Irvington itself, did you take I think there's AP Computer Science. Did they have that available when you were there?
Yeah, they did have it available, but it's only available for seniors. So I actually self-studied AP Computer Science A on my own in sophomore year, and I took the test then. And then I took intermediate Java at Ohlone the next year. So I didn't take APCS at Irvington, but I learned it on my own.
Oh, wow. That's really cool that you learned it on your own. And I know like Irvington has a bit of a complicated relationship with APs.
Yeah.
So did that affect you in any way?
Not really. I think I was able to take the APs I want and I did fine in them. So I didn't really have any issue with that. No.
Yeah, that's good to know. So yeah, that you were able to pursue your own interests in your own time. And so one thing Irvington is known for is the benchmark projects we have. And you weren't here for freshman year, so obviously you probably weren't able to do change.
Yeah.
So do you remember your WIP and Quest topics?
Yeah, I do. For WIP, I did climate change. I was assigned climate change. And then, or no, actually for WIP, I was assigned the one about like water.
Oh yeah, I think I did that too. Water conservation.
Okay, yeah, that one. Yeah, and then for Quest, I was able to choose my own topic. So I did gender inequality in computer science.
Oh yeah, that's a really interesting one. Like gender inequality and computer science. I heard a few people doing it this year too. So obviously for Quest, I can see how that ties into your planned major. But what about WIP? Do you feel like it gave you any valuable skills, or like water inequality is something you would be interested in pursuing?
Yeah, definitely. I think both benchmark projects were really helpful in just developing general skills in like writing, research, and communication. And so for WIP as well, like source checks, with the source checks, you obviously had to learn how to find credible sources and analyze them well and like write summaries about them without plagiarizing. And then you had to like use the sources and use them in a paper, which are like all important things you need to know in college, like for just writing classes and just writing in general. So I think that was pretty helpful. And then we also had to like we had to research policies and like present different policies or solutions to the social issues, which I think was also really helpful because you had to like learn how to form your own opinion and like write about that. And then I think just like doing the Socratic seminar, and there was a debate for WIP, and then also for a Quest, there's like a Quest testimony at the end where you have to like present what you've learned throughout the year and like the service you've done. I think those were like good opportunities to just practice public speaking and communication.
Yeah, that's true. And it sounds like it ties in a little bit to debate too.
Yeah.
Because like forming your own opinion and coming up with evidence and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so like overall, you feel like the benchmark projects were definitely beneficial to you and helping you learn more about the world and about essay writing in general and research.
Yeah, definitely. I think they were really helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I know that there is one complaint about Quest because a lot of the major deadlines are near college applications, and it is a different program than most schools have. So do you feel like there was a little bit too much workload, or like the workload was okay? Or do you have any thoughts about it?
Yeah, I actually didn't find it like too bad. I think I did Quest when everything was online. And I think because things were online, there was less of a workload from school than there would have been like in person. So I personally didn't think of it as too much. And I think with WIP and Quest as well, like they take time, like your English teachers and your history teachers, they take time like in class to go over them and like for you to work on the projects in class. And so because of that, it's not like you're doing everything by yourself at home, and it makes up like a good portion of your grade. And so I kind of think of it as just like a project that's a part of the class. So I didn't have any issues with like it being too much work or anything. And like, especially with college applications, I didn't find it too much of an issue. And I think also what helped is I like worked on my college applications during the summer. So I had most of them done when I started school. So yeah, for me, it wasn't an issue. I think for other people, it is a bit of an issue, especially like with Quest, because a lot of the deadlines, as you mentioned, are near like college application dates. But I think because things were virtual this year, it wasn't as bad as it would have been like in person.
Oh yeah, that is true with virtual school. And it's good to know that it wasn't too much work for you because I'm starting my Quest right now. We just got our social declaration forms. So for computer science and gender inequality, I'm just curious, what did you learn about it?
Yeah, so I learned a lot about just like the issue of how there's like a big gender gap in computer science at like a lot of different levels, like at the high school level, the college level, and just in the research academia and in the workforce. And then I learned about like the reasons why there is a gap and like why not as many women are interested in doing computer science. And it goes back to like stereotypes and a lot of like different things, like also just like teachers, they can sometimes use like non-inclusive language in classrooms, like minor things that stem from like stereotypes that we have about like girls tending to be, or society wanting girls to be more like feminine and being involved in like more feminine like activities. And then I guess there's just a stereotype that guys are like the more nerdy people. And so, yeah, I learned about like the causes of the issue and then also like the consequences of the issue. So especially because like computer science is a really big field and there's a lot of like people researching applications of computer science in a lot of different like meaningful areas. And so because of that, it's like really important that we have gender equality so that we don't see like biases in the technologies we create. So yeah, I was able to learn a lot about the issue, like from the causes, the consequences, and like what we can do to help fix the issue.
Wow, that's really interesting to learn. Like about minor language, I know that's a problem with a lot of issues. I can see how that would be a problem for gender inequality. So what did you do for your project itself?
Oh, it's like for the service project? Okay, yeah. So they were like pretty flexible about the service part of Quest this year because everything was virtual. So for me, I didn't work with an official nonprofit organization, but I basically created like an online Python course and I put it on Udemy. Yeah, so that was basically my service.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn from doing that?
I didn't really learn anything specific to gender inequality in computer science, but I mean, it was just like more experience with teaching others. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, more teaching experience is always good.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think you would like continue something similar, like teaching in college as well, or joining any organizations?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that I plan on continuing in college. At Caltech, they have like a program where like they tutor students from like the local middle school and high school. So I'm like interested in getting involved in that. And I think just in general, like I've been doing a lot of teaching virtually through my own nonprofit organization. So that's something I want to continue in college as well.
Yeah, that's great to know. So speaking of teaching, when you were in Irvington, do you feel that like any teachers or staff helped you specifically develop your interest, or was it something that was already in you? Or did anyone help guide you with it?
Yeah, I think I was always pretty interested in teaching because I've done teaching for a while, just like in debate and computer science. But I do think like I had many really good teachers that I liked. Like some of them would be like 10th grade, I really liked my history teacher, Mr. B, my chemistry teacher, Mr. Pham. And then in 11th grade, I thought I thought she was a pretty good teacher. And yeah, I liked pretty much all my teachers, I'd say 11th grade as well. I think they were all like pretty good at teaching. And then 12th grade too, I'd say I had pretty good teachers. So I think all 3 years I had teachers that I really liked. And I think they definitely like inspired me when it came to teaching.
Yeah, I've heard of some of those teachers and how good they are at teaching. And I know that sometimes teachers will be like, oh, here's some extra material because you'll be doing this in college. Or like, I don't know if you know Mr. Fong, but he's included some life advice. Like I think he taught his students how to change car tires. So do you feel like any of these teachers helped you with those things?
Well, I didn't have Mr. Fung. I didn't learn how to do things like change car tires or any like life skills for any of my teachers. But I do think just like in general, like the subjects I learned in these classes, like they had aspects of them that obviously will help you in like the future. So when you learn math, you get better at calculations and that kind of stuff, and like just logical thinking, which is going to help. And then obviously like through English and history classes, you get better at researching and writing and communicating, which are obviously like really important skills to have in the future. So yeah, I didn't learn any like specific life skills, like changing a car tire or anything like that. But I did just learn like general skills that I think will be really helpful in college and beyond.
Yeah, that makes sense. So overall, you feel like Irvington has prepared you for college in real life?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Is it like in an overall sense, like most high schools would do, or do you feel like Irvington specifically is a good school?
I would say overall, I think most high schools would prepare me like Irvington has. I don't think there was anything specific about Irvington that prepared me more than another high school. And I think, especially because I did go to different high school freshman year, I didn't really see like too much of a difference in like Irvington specifically teaching life skills or something that will help in college. I think most of the learning I did was through just like classes and learning the material that any like high school would teach in like those classes. And also through the debate club, which I think a lot of schools offer as well. So yeah, nothing like specific towards Irvington, but I don't think Irvington like was bad in any way. I think they did a pretty good job in preparing me for college.
Yeah, that's great. Because like I think you were saying earlier about math, for example, I guess you can apply problem solving skills to real life too, and creativity and different things.
Yeah.
So I know that you did say there's a lot of benefits, but are there any life skills so far? Like, I know you haven't entered college yet, right? Because school doesn't start for you yet. But is there anything that you do wish Irvington had put a little bit more emphasis on?
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, Mr. Fung teaching like how to change a car tire, like none of those kind of life skills were taught through Irvington, or like things like finances, like anything about that, just like things that you need to know as an adult. And things like driving, like the process when it comes to learning how to drive. Those were all things that I had to learn by myself or like ask my parents for help. So I think it would be pretty cool if like maybe Irvington could have classes or just like hold sessions outside of school that cover like these topics or these things that you need to know as you transition from becoming like from being a teenager to an adult. I think those kinds of skills would be like really helpful. And yeah, I don't think Irvington really taught those skills in any way. So yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool if they had sessions or something to do more about the life skill, like the practical aspects of life.
Yeah.
Is there any advice you have learned so far that you would like to share?
I would definitely recommend to get involved in a lot of different things at Irvington and take like the opportunities that are presented to you. So like, especially when it comes to clubs, if there's anything you're really interested in or like a field you're interested in, see if there's a club related to it and join it. So I would like highly recommend joining a club like debate, especially because I think even if you're not very confident in your public speaking, it helps you develop those skills, and those skills, like regardless of what job or career or profession you choose to go into, it'll be helpful. So yeah, I definitely recommend joining debate if you're interested in public speaking or communication in any sort of way. It's a pretty fun club. And yeah, just in general, get involved in like clubs that you're interested in and just like opportunities you're interested in.
Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, and I know like lots of debate people I know are pretty good speakers, so it's definitely made an impact on them.
Yeah.
So right now, like, do you feel prepared for college? Are you ready to like get started? Are you guys doing in person or virtual?
Yeah, we're doing in-person college, but there's obviously like a lot of restrictions because of COVID. But yeah, I feel like pretty ready for college. The college I'm going to, Caltech, is like known for being pretty hard. So like I'm a bit worried about that. But otherwise, yeah, I feel fine. Like I think I can do well in college.
Yeah, good luck. I'm sure you'll do great because of all your experience. And it'll also be interesting to go to like a specifically science and engineering focused school. Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to when you get there?
The food. The food is apparently really good.
Oh, wow.
And I think it'd just be nice, like getting away from home, because I think my parents have never really let me be like independent in a sense. So I think I'll definitely be like a lot more independent in college. And I think just by being in college and not having like my parents around, I think I'll be able to learn more and just become more responsible as a person. So I think that would be pretty good.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm also looking forward to that too once I get into college. Like being independent and learning more things on your own.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming to today's interview. I learned a lot about what you said from your own experiences. And yeah, I'm really glad that we got to talk to you today.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.